What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Renegade Roundtable podcast here. I am Jeffrey Kirby, and as you can see, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, a.k.a. Jarryd Sanchez. Jarryd, how the hell are you?
It's good. Happy Thursday. If you watch March Madness, it must be crazy right now.
I was going to say, I'll just say this right now. I'm one of those people that I don't give a damn about March Madness. I know everyone else does. So it's like, I know I am in the very, very minority on this.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just something about it. It doesn't do anything for me. But,
It's just, I like upsets. I just like seeing
speaking of which, from the time that we are recording this, Arizona just got bounced.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is they were the 2 seed?
2 seed, yep.
Yeah, so a 2 seed getting bounced. This is
seed.
The everyone's brackets getting busted season.
Mm-hmm. Oh, every year.
Yeah, every single year. It's like after 5 games, 0.02% of brackets are still perfect.
Yeah, it's literally impossible.
But yeah, this is not March Madness podcast. We're here to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers and the NFL because we have free agency. Now, before we get into that, you know what I love? So last week we did our mock draft 1.0 show. Phenomenal. It was a great time. We had our boy Herb, we had our boy Hunter on, and it was a great time. What happens the very, very next day? The Carolina Panthers trade for the first overall pick. This happens to me every damn year. I think I've been doing mock draft, or I started covering the NFL draft in 2019, and every single damn year, whenever I do my first mock draft show, it's either the same day or the next day, some crazy-ass trade happens where someone's trading for, it's just all crazy. Like last year, we did our mock draft 1.0 show, and then literally an hour later, after we got off air, Devontae Adams got traded for a first-round pick, and I'm like, oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah, that's...
But I mean,
every year.
That's what happens when you do a mock draft during in March. So obviously, that's kind of what we're feeling like now. But the real mock draft that we'll really be looking at will be obviously the week before the NFL draft. We'll do another mock draft show. The week before the NFL draft, and we'll obviously do that one live again. And that one is going to be an absolute blast. But we'll kind of correlate some of that, correlate some of the things that the Steelers have done into what we think they're going to do in the draft, because obviously
a lot has changed.
The Steelers
a lot has changed.
They're being active.
It's crazy. You would never thought.
I mean, last year they were a little bit active too. I mean, they went out on the first day. They went out and signed a couple guys. They went out. Yeah. The first deal they got was Mitch Trubisky. Then they got James Daniels. They re-signed Chukwuemeka for. Within the first couple days, I don't remember when it was exactly, they went and they had gotten Miles Jack, and they signed Levi Wallace, and I know I'm forgetting some others. Obviously, Larry O later on in the summer.
I know.
But, yeah, this year they've been kind of active in terms of what they have done. They went out so far, they have signed 5 players, 4 defensive players, and 1 offensive player.
Mm-hmm. I really like the offensive player signing.
Nate Herbig.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
I really like it.
I'm a big guy, and he's a big old. He's a beefcake. You know what I like about him? So I was doing kind of looking at some of the stuff about him. He's only 24 years old.
Wow.
So you like to see that. And real quick, this signing is 2 things. Number 1, Kevin Dotson, you can most likely kiss your job goodbye. Most likely. And number 2, we could also kiss Kendrick Green's roster spot probably off.
Yeah.
Which for some people, they are doing one of these deals because, yeah, the Kendrick Green experience was not a great one.
No.
But I mean, signed to a 2-year, $8 million deal with $4 million guaranteed. He's one of those guys. He's a very physical and nasty run blocker. So in a way that kind of gives you a hint of what they might want to focus on this year, maybe try to run the ball a little bit more. But at the end of the day, if you're going to run the ball, look at what happened down the stretch last year after the bye. When we saw them actually running the football effectively, the offense was looking better. Now, it was still, I mean, it's a Matt Canada ran offense, so you know how that's going to go. But they ran the ball effectively, which helped out. I mean, running the ball effectively gets you somewhere at least. And that's exactly what they did. They had, remember at one point in time, they had only averaged, like, I think it was like 84 yards on the ground as a team before the bye, and then after the bye at one point it was like 150 or something. It was insane.
It was a lot better. That's all I know.
A whole lot better. It ended up probably being like probably somewhere between 130 and 150, which is still pretty remarkable. And this is a direct correlation to Andy Weidel. Andy Weidel loves big guys. He loves dealing with the trenches. He loves dealing with those big hogs up front. And this is just another example of that. I like this signing, and he seems like someone, he's going to become a fan favorite very quickly.
Yeah, I'm going to say he's a starting left guard already. I'm just going to say it right now.
And I think a lot of people are saying, and that's why everyone is like, I'm personally saying, for the most part, this is Kevin Dotson could kiss his starting position goodbye. I'm not going to say I'm 100% like you are on that just yet.
Oh, I know, but I'm just going to say it already.
Only because it's going to end up being a competition of some sort, but I think they're going to really try to give Nate Herbig his due at right or at left guard. He did play some right guard last year with the Jets. He started 11 games. He only allowed 1 sack, which was kind of nice in pass protection. Now, however you feel about PFF, whatever. I know PFF is one of those things where if it gives you what you want, you love it, and when it doesn't give you what you want, you hate it, and it's stupid. He only graded out to a 58 on Pro Football Focus, which I believe was lower than Dotson and James Daniels. James Daniels ended up playing pretty well for us last year. Dotson, we all know in the run game was pretty good, but Mike Tomlin does not like.
Pass is horrible.
Yes, and we'll see what happens with Nate Herbig, and clearly, I know there's still the quote-unquote glaring left tackle need.
No. You already know where I'm going with it? No.
I mean, there is the possibility of he used to
No.
play for the Tennessee Titans. He's there for a decade. Drafted in 2014.
No.
Went to Michigan. Taylor Lewan. There's always that option.
No.
You know what I was really shocked about was to see that Orlando Brown was actually, like, the Steelers were legitimately in the mix for Orlando Brown.
Isn't that interesting?
I saw that and I'm like, wait a damn second. We were actually, like, I mean, obviously they might have been interested, but we were actually in the mix?
Yeah, how much were they willing to pay him was the question mark.
Here's my curiosity on this. Omar Khan has already been more active in free agency than what we saw with Kevin Colbert. Kevin Colbert seemed like he hated free agency. It seemed like it, at least. He was just never that. And I understand that sometimes you just didn't have the money. I understand that sometimes you could only work with so little. And it's nice that when you have a cap guy as a GM, he's going to do certain things. You went out, you cut Miles Jack, you saved $8 million. You restructured Minka. You saved $10.65 million on the cap. You let go of William Jackson. Now that one was expected. I think they saved like $12 million there.
Yep.
So you go out, and he's actually, he's making those moves. He's trying to restructure. Now I'm wondering if he tried to restructure something with TJ or not.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't think so, but I'm wondering if he had tried. I mean, there's always a possibility, or even I don't know, like how much cap you would have been able to save, quote unquote, if you would have restructured him or like Cam Hayward. But if you were wanting to do that, if you could create a lot more cap than what you already have, and you could continue to build. Now, and this will be very, very unprecedented when it comes to the Steelers, because like we said, they were not always very active in free agency. It was just build through the draft, and that's just how they ran things. But this year, it's a little bit different. And we noticed Art Rooney even said in his press conference, things might be a little bit different with the way that they're running things. And with Andy Weidel and Omar Khan, it's definitely looking that way.
Yeah, I'm very excited. With these free agents coming out of nowhere to us, it's pretty exciting. Like, I'm really excited. The one signing, I know we probably will talk about it. I want to talk about it now, honestly. That the Larry O signing,
which is actually the one I was going to get to next anyway,
the,
so that worked out perfect.
the Larry O signing for $28 million. When I saw that, I was like, the Steelers paid that much for him.
That was a little bit of a shocker to me, if you want me to be honest.
Oh, it was for me too, for sure. They don't pay free agencies like that.
I think the reason why it was a shocker to me was more of because, I mean, it would have been nice to keep him back. You know, if you want to give him like a $1 or $2 million year or one or 2 year deal. You know, if you could get him for 2 for 16 or something like that, that would have been cool. 3 for 28 was a little bit interesting for a guy that he didn't play a whole. I mean, when he did play, he was pretty good, but it was just a matter of. It didn't seem like he was out. I mean, he was injured at points in the season, and it just makes me wonder how. Now I don't know. I don't know exactly what the guarantees were in that.
I don't know either, but $28 million, I thought it was a little too high. Personally.
So yeah, 3 years, $28.75 million in for the deal for him. I'm looking to see if I can figure out. I'm on over the cap right now. I'm looking to see if I can figure out what his maybe what his cap number is, or maybe I'll have to go to. Let me go to Sport Track. Sport Track seems to be the better situation.
Good. That's a good signing, but the pay was just, for me was a little bit too high. I'm sure a lot of people probably felt the same way, but it's a good sign to have back on that defensive line. Personally,
So yeah, his annual value is about $9.5 million. So
it's almost $10 million for a guy,
and he'll be 29 at the probably at I believe at the start of the season. So you're paying him, probably until he's 32. That's if that full contract goes. Now we'll see. He may not even last that long in the contract. We'll see how healthy he could stay or how he continues to play. We shall see. But I mean, I like the fact that they went out and invested. They went and tried to keep someone in that interior of the defensive line, which was something that we really needed, and that was one of the big focuses for either free agency or the draft. They went out and did that. Now, I do believe that they might still want to go after someone else a little bit younger, but it may not be as big of a need to them. But I still would like to see them maybe with like a third or fourth round pick, somewhere in that range, go after still someone with in that interior. Or unless someone that you really didn't believe that wasn't going to be there at 32, and he is.
I'm thinking that even with this signing, I'm thinking a 32 or 49.
So someone like a Brian Persee from Clemson is someone that could it seems like that's a guy. Now, I could say this right now, it really doesn't seem like Jalen Carter's helping out his case.
No.
You want to talk about someone who has a bad deck of cards that's playing against him. Oh, boy.
I'll take him at 32.
I don't even think the Steelers would want him at 32.
Oh, man. Oof.
I mean, I might be wrong. If you guys want to comment down below, or if you're... I
would take him at 32, personally. If the pro day wasn't as great, he only did positional drills. Like, it's not helping his draft stock a lot. But we still don't know where he's going to fall in range, honestly, personally, after that.
I'm curious. I know the Steelers don't have like all their draft picks here. Now I'm curious to see what picks we have this year because I forget.
17, 32, 49.
We have so we have a 1, 2 2s, a 3, a 4, and 2 7s. Damn, that's gonna be crazy when we get Jalen Carter with that 243rd pick.
Okay, come on. Come on.
Yeah, no. I mean, in reality, I don't know. This is just such a weird. Now it's gonna be funny if we could go back to this like after the draft and he still goes in the first round, which there's a very possible chance that he might. I don't know. This whole situation is just so weird because you don't know where he's going to go. We don't know how teams are gonna value him. I mean, he was a guy that is possibly going to be the best defensive tackle prospect since Aaron Donald to come out.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have the whole speeding thing and the racing thing, and then after that, now you have this. Oh boy, I really don't know.
Yep, I don't know either. I don't know. But anyways, after, we'll talk the draft a little bit more later, but signing other couple free agents, Patrick Peterson wasn't a surprise for me.
That was the first one. I was actually live. So if you guys wanted to go and see my actual live reaction, I'll put a link into that live stream in the description. I was live with my boy Hunter, and we were, just talking about free agency back on Monday. And y'all got to see my live actual reaction. Now, of course, they all made fun of me because, he's washed, blah, blah, blah. Patrick Peterson was still pretty good last year with Minnesota. Now, with him, they played a lot of zone out there. He said he loved it because he was able to watch the quarterback. But we all know he's going to play a lot more man. But he could definitely play the man. Man, he could be a corner.
He can play anything right now, but pretty much.
And on top of that, I like the fact that he'll be a good mentor to whoever, because I still truly believe that they're going to go after a corner with either 17 or 32. And whoever that wants to be, having Patrick Peterson be a mentor to you, that is such a huge help.
Mm-hmm.
You love to have that kind of mentorship, because there's a reason why he's been in the league for 12 or 13 years, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, it's good, man. Still keeps up with the good ball play.
And he also said that Kenny Pickett has some of that pizzazz.
Yeah, you gotta believes we could win the Super Bowl, man. I believe it too, as we always do.
I'm begging, but yeah, that was a kind of a shock. I mean, in terms of position, now he got 2 years, $14 million with 5.85 of that guaranteed. So we'll see if this is just the thing that offered him the most, or that we'll never know probably. But I mean, at the end of the day, you got someone to go and replace Cam Sutton, which we'll get to some of the losses here later after we talk about some of the additions, because I know the whole Cam Sutton thing is going to rub a whole lot of people the wrong way, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
I get it, but I want to get okay, never mind.
I'll say we'll get to that here in a minute. Let's get to another guy who I think is going to truly be the fan favorite. And that's none other than Cole Holcomb, the mullet man himself.
That's how you say it, Holcomb?
Holcomb.
I don't even know Holcomb, okay.
Cole Holcomb. Signed a 3-year, $18 million deal. Obviously, he has the mullet. You always gotta love a good mullet. At least to me, you always gotta love a good mullet. He's only 26 years old. He has 48 career starts. He's more of the coverage guy that we're going to have with this revamped linebacker room. Now, he did only play in 7 games last year. He did have foot surgery, so that is something to be a little bit weary about. But yeah, for the most part, he seems like a guy. A lot of Steelers fans seem to be very happy with this, and to be quite frank with me, I saw some Washington. Like, I went to back in when Tom Pelissero, he posted the news that he had signed with the Steelers, and I saw a good amount of Washington fans saying, damn, like, that sucks that we lost him, which makes me feel very good as a Steeler fan, because let's be honest, that linebacker room needed revamped badly, and sure as hell enough, it is exactly what is happening.
Yeah, man, I was getting a little worried, with no linebacker getting signed the next couple of days, You got everyone getting off the board early.
You had Levante David gone, Lane Vander Esch, now Tremaine Edmonds, that was gone. There was a whole lot of off the ball linebackers that were coming off. You're like, what are we doing here? Like, what is going on here? Then they go out and they actually go and invest a little bit. They go and get Cole Holcomb, like I said, 3-year, $18 million deal. You go back and look at his 2021 season, 125 total tackles. That's a guy that we need. He could be a tackler, and that's exactly. He had 2 interceptions as well last year. One of them in which he took back for a touchdown. But yeah, that's what you love to see. You need a guy who's going to tackle, and he's going to be more of the coverage guy for this linebacking core.
Well, you hope so. He's good with it.
I just also hope he doesn't turn into Joe Schobert. That's my issue. Now, Joe Schobert was a guy. Now, I personally, as someone, so I knew a lot about him from when he played in Cleveland because, well, obviously I live here, so I have to hear about it every single damn day. And when people were, when we had traded for Joe Schobert, a lot of Steelers fans were very happy. I was a little weird because I understood what he was. He was a guy that was going to make a lot of tackles, but also miss a lot of tackles. And sure as hell enough, that is exactly what happened. But Cole Holcomb is better than that. So
you hope.
I think so. I truly do.
I hope so.
I believe it.
But this new linebacker room now, it's pretty, different than last year. All two new names.
Yeah, a lot. Aladon. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong.
Alandon
Roberts. That's how it is.
Alandon Roberts.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Alandon Roberts signed a 2-year deal. Came from Miami. To me, he's gonna be more of that Vince Williams.
Yeah.
He's gonna play more of that role. He's a guy. He's 28 years old. He's a downhill thumper. Now, I posted on Twitter from when we signed him. In fact, here I'll go and actually. I'm gonna here on my laptop. I'm just gonna read off some of the comments because I saw that we signed him, and I said, "Steeler fan here, give me the rundown on him." Now I got a bunch of comments, and I'll read some of them. One of them was flash player versus the run, good special teams player, solid blitzer, great leadership, but will struggle mightily versus the pass. Great tackler and run support. Think of him as like a rocket on the field. I've always said one thing about Roberts. He might be a one-trick pony, but it's a really, really good one trick. You do not want to see him filling a hole if you're trying to run through on 3rd and 4th and short. And it's just a solid signing, and it's a lot of the same thing. Great run stopper, but not great in the pass. So, needless to say, we know what we're getting out of him. But that's why you got to go and bring someone like a Cole Holcomb, a guy that could be more in coverage. As the real quick, okay. I thought the Patriots just signed someone, but it's just their long snapper they just brought back. I have all my Twitter notifications on, so if we get any new deals just from anywhere, I'm going to obviously be saying them in here as well, but you guys will have already seen that because we won't be posting this till obviously at Friday when you guys will see this. But here's the interesting, too, about Roberts here. So last year, he had more tackles for loss with 10, more sacks at 4.5, and QB hits with 6 than Miles Jack, Robert Spillane, and Devin Bush had combined. Combined those 3 last year at 9 tackles for loss, 1 sack, and 5 QB hits.
Yeah. Well.
Hey, and also, hold on, time out. I ain't gonna let you get off the hook here. I ain't letting you get off the hook here. You thought you were gonna get away from this, but that is not how that's gonna go. I see you've been trying to be Mr. Devin Bush, the captain of the Devin Bush fan club around here. What's going on with that?
Man, I was getting worried with these linebacker signs.
So you were getting that desperate to where you were gonna keep Devin Bush?
Yep. Damn right I would. He'd be cheap.
I think I'd rather have you at linebacker.
I think Devin can play better than I can.
Oh my Lord. I've never seen someone so desperate in my life that they would actively rooting to keep Devin Bush.
Hey, listen, man. You do what you gotta do.
This isn't no Terrell Edmonds in 2022. This isn't one of those deals. No. I want to ship Devin Bush as far as humanly possible. I want to send him to the same island that we send Mason Rudolph and Matt Canada. I want those 3 to be on the same island somewhere off of planet Earth.
He has a meeting with Seattle, and I hope it works out for him. So let's see how that goes.
Well, they also don't have Aaron Kerr anymore. They're because he is now our linebacker coach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be very excited to see how I'm very excited to see how those guys react with Aaron Curry, because we saw like Jordan Brooks, for an example, for Seattle. He's been very good for them. Then obviously they still had they had Bobby Wagner for a little while there. I believe that Curry was around when Bobby Wagner was playing. I believe so, but yeah, for the most part, yeah. How would you grade the signings that we have made with Nate Herbig, as my group chat's deciding to FaceTime me? That's also nice. Larry O, Nate Herbig, Cole Holcomb, Patrick Peterson, and Aladon. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time.
Roberts, just call him Roberts.
Yeah.
Now.
What would you grade those
that
signings?
We brought in? I'd give it a B+ for all of them. Probably B. I'm pretty, Nate Herbig, great for addition to the old line. He could start left guard or at least fight for it with Kevin Dotson. Patrick Peterson, we have a cornerback. It's a veteran cornerback, solid. We lost Cam Sutton, which we'll talk about that later. But we got some good pieces. 2 linebackers that could play. It's a new linebacker room.
And also, how can we forget about Devontae Casey, bringing him back as well?
Yeah, it was
that was the one where I was really excited about. Now, I'll be even more excited about it if they decide to bring back Terrell Edmunds. I'm telling you right now, you bring back Terrell Edmunds on a 1 or 2 year deal, bring him back.
I think
you know how much versatility you can have with this defense?
Mm-hmm.
Because
if not, I don't think it's going to be a 1 year deal. I think they'll get him like a 2 to 3 year deal if they really
and I would be okay with that.
Yeah, we'll be okay with that. That's just the price tag, of course, always says something. But it's the days going by. I don't know what Terrell Edmunds is going to do. We'll see where he goes. Maybe go play with his brother in Chicago. We'll see. I want him to come back, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, because imagine this, the kind of versatility that you can have with Minka, Devontae Casey, and then Terrell Edmunds. Terrell Edmunds, he can be that Swiss Army knife because you could play him in the box a lot more. He'll still have the coverage ability to roam around in space. So if you really wanted to, you could put it in a situation where if you want to, I'm just trying to think about this.
He could be an inside linebacker. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, just bring him as one of those linebackers. If you want to take out Roberts if you want to bring him out and put in Terrell Edmunds there, you could have so much coverage ability. There's a lot you can do with this defense, and I am praying to the gods above that we bring him back.
You hope so, but with all these free agent signings, I think it kind of does impact of the draft a little bit. Look, you think now with the first pick, now you're thinking corner more likely than defensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe more than even offensive tackle. Maybe even more of linebacker.
So here's the thing about this, and we're gonna I'm gonna kind of combine 2 things into one here.
Go for it.
So the Detroit Lions, they went out and they got Cam Sutton, pair him outside of Jeffrey Okudah. That was one of the teams that we were really thinking that could possibly go with a corner at number 6. I had them going Devin Witherspoon at number 6 overall. That's probably not the case anymore. So now that pushes. Yeah. So that's another couple picks where we may not see a corner. So one of those corners that you would really want, whether it's a Devin Witherspoon, whether it's a Joey Porter Jr., whether it is a Christian Gonzalez, you have a better shot of getting those guys. And I know for you absolutely love Christian Gonzalez. I like Christian Gonzalez a lot. So if you're thinking in that perspective, you're getting closer. There's another pick in between. There's more picks in between where a corner may not go.
For sure. I am really excited. So, yeah, they signed Cam Sutton and Emmanuel I forgot, from the Niners.
I think Emmanuel Mosley.
Daniel Mosley, yeah, something like that. But that really changes what the Lions are probably going to do in the draft. So at the number 6, I think they could go defensive line, personally.
Well, they went out. So they actually, it's ironic, they went out and got one of our old time friends, is Isaiah Buggs. They signed him, and they also re-signed John Kaminsky to a 2-year, $8.5 million deal. Detroit did. They went out and they definitely did some stuff on defense. They went out and re-signed Alex.
You know who else they can get? I could see it happen now. I don't know if it's too high for him. I could see a Brian Branch go maybe at 6 or with their second pick in the first round. You could play that safety. I don't know who's their safety, and then in the Detroit, I don't think it's the greatest.
That's not a bad idea. And like I said, when we talked about this last week, if you believe that he could be a Minkah Fitzpatrick kind of impact player, number 6 is not too high at all. Not at all. I personally, now, I might just play around with this idea. Imagine Brian Branch with this defense. We'll just play around with it.
It can happen. That's another thing too. It's funny, but it can happen.
I personally just don't see him going past New England.
New England or Green Bay is what I'm seeing. I don't think he goes past
Green Bay. Oh, we don't know what the hell. Aaron Rodgers is kissing them goodbye. So, obviously, it sounds like he's going to be a new. Now, we don't know if that Green Bay pick is. I'm curious to see. So, if Green Bay, say they were to get a first round pick for him this year, and then they would have 2 picks. So, they would have 13 and
11. If it's for the Jets. The Jets have 11, I'm pretty sure.
I think they have 13.
Oh, they do have 13.
Yeah, it's 13 and 13 and 15.
15.
So, okay, so they would have 2 of the next 3 picks there. You could very well go with that. Use one of those to go with a receiver to help out Jordan Love. You could go with, obviously, a Brian Branch, or even like how I went with Michael Mayer, the guy that reminds me of Jason Witten.
Man, and you know what that means for the Jets? They can't draft an offensive tackle as well. Another tackle drops. I'm just saying.
Hey, I mean,
and we heard about the Tennessee Titans. In my mock, we talk about Nolan Smith going to the Tennessee Titans possibly. And if they don't draft a tackle, then you're looking at 2 good tackles falling.
You know, also, speaking of tackles, one thing I love doing Champions Pose on, and I tagged you guys in it last night, was last week on the mock draft show. If you have yet, go and check that out. Obviously, it's busted as all hell, but you can still go and check it out, and you can support us. At the very, very end, spoiler, I had the Kansas City Chiefs going and selecting DeJuan Jones. And I mentioned there that he really reminds me of Orlando Brown. Well, then I was scrolling through Twitter, and I randomly saw a post, and it said a draft comparison for DeJuan Jones is Orlando Brown. And I'm like, huh, how ironic.
Yeah, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
But
still, like I said, there could be tackles there. At 17, if Paris Johnson or Broderick Jones is there at 17, I'm taking one of them.
Now, one thing that I will say, especially with the Herbig signing, Skoronski to me is now really offensive tackle 3. Because I would have liked him because of the versatility at guard, but now if you feel like Herbig's going to be your guy for at least the next couple years, maybe I'm not feeling that so much. Now, who knows? I could also be me and all the other people who are truly overreacting to his short arms, you know, we could end up looking stupid, and that's fine. Won't be the first time, won't be the last. Yeah. But that would just kind of be a little bit concerning to me. I would love to see somehow Broderick Jones or Paris Johnson become a Pittsburgh Steeler. That would be a dream.
It's becoming now not likely, but possible.
There's a better shot.
Better shot to have it, especially with these free agent signings of what teams are doing. You're getting a better picture of who's going to be there and who they're going to draft. And we know a trade's coming with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. We just don't know when. It's going to happen.
Now, we also don't know if there's a first-round pick that's going to be involved, because It seems like right now that's the part that's holding up. They're figuring
They
out
want
what
more. They want
compensation.
more than a first. I get it. Give them a first and a second.
I don't think the Jets. I feel like the Jets are going to try to give him exactly what they gave for Brett Favre, which was like a conditional fourth.
Oh yeah, that's not gonna happen.
I mean, personally, I would be hoping that they would give a first because then obviously in that situation they wouldn't have a first round pick to draft an offensive tackle.
Exactly. That's what we would want. And then Tennessee now talking about edge guys now. Nolan Smith's coming up on the board
because obviously with another old time friend, Mr. Alvin Bud Dupree being gone.
And he could be coming back. They're interested. It'll be a great depth piece personally. He knows he'll be the third guy, basically.
It would be ironic how when he was here before, he was the guy and then Alex Highsmith was behind him, and then it would be the opposite now.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this in this situation. Would you try to re-sign Alex Highsmith now in the summer? Or how do you feel about that now? Or do you just let this play out and maybe... Or do you possibly go with a defensive lineman?
Oof, that's tough, man.
To go with one of those?
I would, depending on the extension. How many years we're talking for an extension? We're saying 2 years, 3 years?
3
to
4. I don't know how I would personally feel about 4.
I personally feel okay with 3.
Because, I mean, there are some guys that you feel like that could possibly, if you feel like maybe with that 49th pick. See, that's what I like about what's going on now. Is now you really added some versatility, and you're not having to be so set in stone on what you want to do.
Exactly.
Because it's like, okay, you still feel like you're going to get a corner with one of those first 2 picks. But it's like, what do you do? Say you're set in stone, you're still going to go with a corner at 17. Now what do you do with 32? Do you still go with an interior defensive lineman, maybe still try to get a little bit younger? Do you go with an offensive tackle if you don't get one there, depending on what the situation is there? Do you still maybe go with a linebacker, someone like a Jack Campbell or a Drew Sanders or someone like that, or a Trenton Simpson? Go with one of those guys. You add some versatility now, or, needless shall I say it, I guess a wide receiver.
Only at 32 if he's there, maybe. Like that's how I am with if he's there. If Jordan Addison's at 32,
I'm not even just strictly talking about Jordan Addison. I'm just talking in general.
I know, but you know what I'm saying, though. Come on. Jordan Addison after the draft, combine, it's going downhill.
Now we'll see, because I mean, also the tape does not lie. So
the tape doesn't lie, of course. But I think like the recency bias, what even through after the combine, I think that just affects it more than I know the tape doesn't lie, but look at Jalen Carter. We'll see what happens with him, but
Jalen Carter also, that's a different situation because he also has off the field issues.
Off the field issues, I guess.
I'll say, sure. I mean, there's not really much of the off the field issues with Jordan Addison. It's just.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens with him.
I would love to have him on the team. It would be nice, but man, we'll see what happens. Like I said, they could go offense corner, they could go tackle in 17, corner at 32. There's so many possible ways they can go with these picks up here. It's exciting, and it doesn't feel more like needy. You get what I'm saying? Like more attention. I think the most attention position I want personally is like maybe a corner linebacker. I want a tackle. I do. I've been harping for a tackle at 17, but.
I mean, there's a guy out there. He wore number 77. Played for the Tennessee Titans. He has a podcast.
They created cap room, and I have a feeling they're not done with free agency. I feel like they're gonna bring at least another player or 2.
So let's see here. Let's look at left tackles on Sport Track and see who's still available. There's really not much at all. I mean,
no, exactly my point.
So, you have Taylor Lewan, you have Donovan Smith, who was recently released by Tampa Bay. You have Eric Fisher. You have
God, no.
49, or you have 85-and-a-half-year-old Jason Peters. No, thank you. And Dakota Dozier.
Who did he play for?
Chicago. He's 31.
Who was the guy after Taylor Lewan?
Donovan Smith.
How old is Donovan Smith?
He's 29. They're saying according to here, his contract, his market value would be 3 years, $58 million.
Oh, hell no.
I don't know if I believe that he's gonna get that.
Hell no.
I don't think he's getting all of that. But
if they sign Taylor Lewan, will I be upset? Yes. But gonna have to live with it. I can't, Oh,
it's crazy
God.
how an Ohio State boy like myself is just getting so worked up and wanting a Michigan player. Herb, you better be excited, damn it.
Oh man, who else are they gonna sign? Like, I'm trying to think. Well, they gotta re-sign Terrell Edmonds, but
in terms of re-signing, that would be the last of like the quote-unquote re-signings from this team. And then outside of that, it's just, bring in another outside guy if you choose to do that.
Like who? Well, that's the question. Who else? Who would you go for now? They signed 2 linebackers. I don't think they're going to sign a third.
No, I don't think they would. Now, the other name that I keep on hearing about is Isaiah Wynn from New England. Now, I believe he played a lot of right tackle.
God, no. 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 I'm going to keep saying it. No.
Who would you rather have, Isaiah Wynn or Taylor Lewan?
Give me Taylor Lewan on a 1-year deal. Give me Taylor Lewan on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, in terms of, honestly, the only guy, I would be okay with Donovan Smith depending on the contract.
Of course.
But
he's not getting $58 million.
Outside of that, yeah, no. Outside of that, if it's not Taylor Lewan or Donovan Smith, as of now, yeah, there's really no one I would be interested in terms of free agent tackles. And
that's how I could see that being at 17. Because the tackles might be falling. It is possible. I think it might happen.
So I'm looking right now on a website, and it shows the biggest needs, NFL team needs. Now, this is obviously not fully updated because of the free agency. But here are the teams. So right now, the teams that have an offensive tackle need with either their most important need or their second most important need. You have Cincinnati. They just went out and they got Orlando Brown, which pisses me off. Denver. Now, Denver, they upgraded their offensive line quite a bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
But, they weren't going to be an issue. Indianapolis, they're getting
quarterback.
Yeah, so we don't have to worry about that fully. Kansas City, they're behind us, and plus, they just recently signed someone too within the last day or so.
Oh, Jawan Jones from the Jags.
I was gonna say they got him. So we'll see. Las Vegas, but they are. They went out and they got their guy, so now that's another team that could possibly be in the mix for a tackle.
They could still get Will Levis.
They just went and got Jimmy G.
Yeah, but they could still get Will Levis. I'm being honest. Jimmy G's all right.
I don't know about that one, Hoss. I don't know about that one, boss.
What do you mean? Why not?
They want to go after. I think now they're definitely going to go after a tackle.
They could, but I can see them go after Will Levis.
I don't.
Where's Will Levis going to go?
Not there. We'll have to see.
It's possible. I think it might happen. How old is Jimmy G?
20-something? It's like 20-something.
Really?
Yeah.
That was close to his 30s.
He's probably not. He is close to 30, but he's not like at 30. At least I don't think. I'm looking this up now. I lied. He's 31. I didn't think he was that old. I thought he was like 29.
No,
but also, you got to look at it this way. It's a 3-year deal. So, they'll have him for... And that's a very good contract for what they got him for. They only got him for 20-something, somewhere between 20 and 25 million a year for a starting quarterback who has been to a Super Bowl. That's a damn good bargain for them. So if you're looking at this from that, I'm using that pick to go after an offensive tackle, one of the top 3, and try to build more with this offense.
Yeah, well, they traded Darren Waller. They use a tight end.
I think it's too early. I don't think. Actually, you know what? Maybe not.
They're number 10, aren't they? Aren't they 10?
They're pick 7.
Really?
Yeah, they're 7.
Jesus, I can't. My numbers are all over the place. I thought they were like number 10 or no, maybe 9.
10 is Philadelphia. 10 is Philadelphia, and 9 is now Chicago.
Oh, that's right. 9 is Chicago. Oh, they are number 7. Oh, wow.
But continuing on, the Chargers, they would need an offensive tackle. Now, this is before free agency, so I don't remember all exactly of what they've done.
They did not. I don't think they signed a tackle at all.
New England, obviously, that's a possibility.
Yeah,
that's a very well possibility. And then obviously Pittsburgh is in there. That's it. That's in Tennessee, but
what's the Falcons?
Falcons, their top needs this was before edge rusher, corner, defensive line, then offensive tackle.
Because I know they got Jesse Bates.
Which good. You know what? I was getting so sick and damn tired of damn Browns fans. Oh, we're gonna get Jesse Bates. We're gonna get Jesse Bates. Yeah. How the hell did that work out for you, bud? So,
yeah. Okay, that's interesting. I thought tackle would be a lot. Well,
they also re-signed Caleb McGarry, 3 years, 34.5.
Okay, that makes sense then.
And they also re-signed Chris Lindstrom, 5 years, $105 million.
Oh yeah, okay. So they're not getting offensive line now. They're definitely not going to get one. I don't think so. Wow. So are you saying besides 2 teams?
Now wait a minute. Time out. So, are we fully convinced that Desmond Ridder is their QB1?
No, hell no.
So they went and they got Taylor Heineke, 2 years, $20 million, up to $20 million.
Are you saying Will Levis is going here, or Anthony Richardson?
I think Richardson will be gone. You know, I think Will Levis might just end up in Atlanta.
I don't like the fit, personally.
If they're them, then you're praying to the Lord above that somehow Anthony Richardson's the guy. But
yeah, well, Atlanta could be that. I was thinking Atlanta could go quarterback, but
now we also will see what ends up happening with this whole Lamar thing, because we see how that's going, obviously.
Still dragging on. I want it to be over, just like Aaron
Rodgers. I know. I'm absolutely loving this. I'm loving every second of this.
Oh, the Lamar, I'm happy. I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Well, Aaron Rodgers, he's going there. It's just a matter of the compensation. So that's a done deal. Like, that's going to happen. It's not a matter of, is he going to retire or is he not going to retire? He's going there. It's just a matter of, the two teams now trying to figure out the compensation. But this whole Lamar thing, I'm loving every second of it. I am loving it.
Gotcha.
Loving seeing Baltimore in agony.
Because it's weird. It's very weird. But do you think the Ravens will just match the offer?
If it's not a fully guaranteed deal, then probably, yeah. But, at that point...
we don't know. We just hoping something happens. That's what we want.
Now, real quick, I'm on NFL.com, and I'm kind of looking at the AFC North, the rest of the teams in the AFC North, and what they've done. So Baltimore has been almost there's been nothing really. They re-signed Justice Hill to a 1-year deal, and they re-signed Trayvon Mullen to a 1-year deal. That's it. That's all they've done. They released Calais Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say it. No. And at Cincinnati, they went out. They got Orlando Brown, 4 years, $64 million with a $31 million signing bonus. They re-signed Jermaine Pratt to a 3-year, $21 million deal. And they also got Cody Ford on a 1-year deal. So that's just kind of a depth piece. And then Cleveland, they were the other team in the division that was kind of active. They re-signed Ethan Posick. That was their center. They got Ogbo Okorowo from Houston. He's an edge guy, 3-year, $19 million. They signed Tristan Hill to a 1-year deal. Dalvin Tomlinson, he's supposed to be one of those big old hogs up the middle. Signed to a 4-year, $57 million. They got Juan Thornhill, which I don't know if you saw, but the troll job was real with what I did yesterday.
Oh boy.
They posted that he had signed there, or I commented under one of his posts. I said mid player going to a mid team. Now my one boy Justin, he knew exactly what was going on. He was like, what did he say exactly now? Because I need to figure this out.
Oh boy.
In fact, actually no, I forgot to put my phone in airplane mode because it was going off too much. Now I got to figure this out. Yeah, I commented under it and said, yeah, it was battle of mid player going to a mid team. And then he comments, they at your neck, they falling for the bait. And I said, it happens every time. But yeah, the comments to that were just, I had Browns fans in shambles.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah, they were the other active team in this division outside of us. We've been by far the two most active teams in the division, and it's crazy because the Browns are still going to be in the closet of the division, but we'll let them be them. But yeah, I like for the most part what we've done in terms of free agency. Just bring back Terrell Edmonds, I'm begging you, and then we'll go from there. Bring in Taylor Lewan, and here we go.
Yeah, no.
Oh boy, it's gonna be nice when you have to buy a Taylor Lewan jersey.
I'm not buying a Taylor Lewan jersey. You think I'm buying a Taylor Lewan jersey?
Yes.
Hell no.
We're gonna get you a Taylor Lewan. I mean, wouldn't be surprised if you would have bought a Devin Bush jersey.
I did have a Devin Bush jersey. I do.
You know what? I can't lie, I did too. But I got it his rookie year. That was the first ever rookie jersey that I ever got. That was the first, because I always had a rule that I would never buy rookies' jerseys. And I went to go, and this was back in 2019. I was at an outlet mall in Pennsylvania, and they didn't have any Minka jerseys for obvious reasons because he was balling out. And so I bought a Devin Bush jersey, and needless to say, there's a reason why I don't buy rookies' jerseys anymore.
Yeah. Telling me.
Like, I don't buy, there's not a chance in hell I was going to buy Kenny Pickett's jersey this year. George Pickens, none of them. Nope.
Well, I have Pickett. I had Chase Claypool.
I have a Claypool. I bought that at the Lions game when we watched Mason Rudolph throw the ball 50 times.
It is what it is, but
we're going to bring that back. I got to bring back that memory every single time.
Every time. Every single time, right? Every single time.
Every time. But yeah, other than that, yeah, free agency has been kind of, it's been crazy. Obviously, like I said, with the division for the most part, Juju going to New England.
Disgusting. I can't believe that happened.
That hurt the soul.
It hurts my soul too. That hurts a lot of people's souls.
Miami? Let's talk about Miami going a little crazy. They went out and they traded for Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard. Woo!
Well, man, they got some money
buddy.
to pay for those. That's a lot of money. I can tell you that much. Jeez.
I'm just kind of scrolling around now. Let's see who else. I mean,
Talk
Houston's kind of went crazy a little bit as well.
Well,
Indianapolis, they went and got Gardner Minshew.
Talk about Chicago. Chicago went crazy.
Well, that was also to be expected. They also had a shit ton of money. You know who else did a little bit too was Denver. Like we mentioned, they went out and got Ben Powers from Baltimore to a 4-year, $52 million deal. And then they went and got Mike McGlinchey, 5 years, $87.5 million.
Yeah.
Boosting up that offensive line. Okay, I could dig that. Las Vegas going out. They went nuts. Jimmy Garoppolo. Obviously, they put Josh Jacobs on the tag. Got Jacoby Myers, 3 for 33. Got Robert Spillane.
Disgusting.
And then Dallas funny. Letting go. Hey, Ezekiel. How you doing?
No.
No, that one I knew was going to trigger you.
No. I still won't ever forget that play when he did against us. Runs up the middle in the end zone.
But he's an Ohio State boy for me. So that I always got.
I don't care. He's an Ohio State boy. He played against us. Right up the middle.
I do. I still get the exciting memory of 85 yards down the heart of the South against Alabama. I still get that.
Yeah, well, you can get that. But I remember them running down our throats at the end of the game.
Yeah. And then I'm just looking through. What's his name? Javon Hargrave. 4 years, $84 million.
Well deserved, my man. Well deserved.
Draymond Jones, 3 years, $51.5 million. Yeah, it's
like I said,
Baker Reagan Mayfield, QB1 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, that's a pretty,
Baker Bay.
Baker Bay.
Tampa Bay Bakerneers.
Oh my gosh. It's like I said, this once after a couple weeks in free agency, I think we'll all get a better understanding where a lot of teams go in the draft, even though we still know now a little bit, but we're still in it's only the first week.
Yeah, so for the most part, we're so good. Obviously, there will be more signings to come, and we'll see by next week. We'll see if the Steelers had any more. See if they go and bring in Taylor Lewan, bring in Bud Dupree. I'm going to do this to you every time.
Just stop saying Taylor Lewan. I don't want Taylor Lewan. That's the one thing, if I wish I can say, I don't want him. I don't want Isaiah Wynn either. No, don't even think about it. Those two guys are no.
Oh, you're just finding me more ways to.
Give me Jason Peters, man. Give me over him, huh? I'm joking.
I'm clipping that, by the way, and I'm posting that on Twitter.
Oh, you're annoying.
That's what's best about this is I have so many clips that I can post.
Oh man, but it's good.
Also, real quick to Darius Slay, 2-year extension. Staying back with Philadelphia, so that just recently happened. Seahawks agreed to a deal with Drew Lock. On a 1-year deal worth $4 million. The Bears are signing former Packers tight end Robert Tonyan to a 1-year deal. Interesting.
Wow, Tonyan goes there. Wow.
Interesting.
Chicago looking more interesting. Very interesting.
They better have my boy Justin Fields looking good this year.
Well, with the receivers that he has now, might be.
I'm hoping.
I don't know what
for my Ohio State boys.
I don't know what Chicago's going to do with that 9th overall pick now. That's going to be a great question. It could be a corner, could be a tackle.
Don't say that.
I'm just being honest. They signed linebackers. They could use a defensive lineman. They could get Jalen Carter.
I mean, I believe. No, never mind. But no. I was gonna say I forgot. I still had him going 3rd to Arizona, but
they did sign a guard. I think they signed a guard, Chicago. They definitely signed a guard. I think they signed a guard or a tackle.
Nate Davis.
Yeah, was he a guard or tackle?
Guard for 3 years, $30 million.
Okay, they still can go for a tackle, but of course we don't want that. But we'll see what happens.
We shall see. But other than that, I think that's about it. I mean, again, let us know down below let us know in the comments what are you guys thinking? What are you guys' overall thoughts on free agency so far? and give your grade for the Steelers on what you think they have done so far in free agency. And then obviously, something could happen from the time that we're recording this to when this comes out on Friday. There could be another move that happens. We don't know. For all we know, Taylor Lewan could be a Steeler by then. But
you're going to keep doing this. I don't know why you're going to keep doing this.
Oh, this is great. This is just phenomenal.
Oh, my gosh, man.
But other than that, I do think that's about it. Unless you got anything else you got to get off your chest.
Nah, I don't think so for this week. No, nothing crazy. I mean, draft almost a month away. Getting there.
Yep, we're getting close.
Almost a month.
A little bit over a month. It's, I believe, the 27th.
Yep, 27th. So it's like 40...
a little bit over a month, and we're itching down. We're getting closer and closer. But yeah, I think this is it for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and drop a comment. And until then, we hope to see you in the next podcast or the next live stream or next video, whatever the hell we decide to do. But until then, have a great weekend. Enjoy your St. Patrick's Day as well. Go and be safe. If you're going to drink, do not drink and drive. Call an Uber, call a friend, call someone. Don't be stupid. Don't drink and drive. But have a great weekend. Stay safe. Peace out.